This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, quality consulting from here in Connecticut. You can find the rest of the data down below this video that corresponds to this video, so that we're going to try to get this out to you quickly so your attention span is not missing. You don't get narcolepsy. This video today is about the safety record of U.S. aviation is compromised by Boeing being an FAA regulator since 2009. I was most recently down in the Senate subcommittee meeting. I stood up. You're not really allowed to stand up, but I stood up because we have documentation that corroborates Sam Sallypour, the whistleblower for the Boeing 777 and 787's report about the poor design with the 787, and we have all the data. But to substantiate this, we have some very special guests here from government agencies that sit on the American National Standards Institute and the American National Accreditation Board. In 2009, the FAA gave up regulatory authority to Boeing. That means that they can design the aircraft, develop the aircraft, build the aircraft, fly the aircraft, and sign off the aircraft. FAA increased the authority of Boeing's commercial airlines division to self-certify. That's what it means, its own aircraft. Authority extended to Boeing under the new system allows Boeing employees to perform tasks on behalf of the FAA that include oversight of testing and product standards, along with certification of aircraft technologies. There's the MCAS. They didn't have to say anything. They are an FAA regulator, as you heard. And new aircraft designs, which means a 787. To make matters even worse, Boeing's inspection work is already delegated to FAA-appointed in-house company inspectors who report most of their findings to the FAA through Boeing. So, let me read you what a judge said in the Northern District of Texas, a Mr. Attorney Aaron Neely Cox. He said this: the misleading statements, half-truths, and omissions communicated by Boeing employees to the FAA impeded the government's ability to ensure the safety of the flying public, said U.S. Attorney Aaron Neely Cox for the Northern District of Texas. This case sends a clear message that the Department of Justice will hold manufacturers like Boeing accountable for defrauding regulators, especially in industries where the stakes are this high. Well, let me show you the stakes. The American National Standards Institute is a private, not-for-profit, non-governmental entity that has both federal agencies and corporations on board. In 2018, the American National Standards Institute took over the American National Accreditation Board. Between 2015 and 21, they sat on the International Accreditation Forum, being controlled at that time and at that date, between 2015 and 21, by a communist Chinese national, Zhao Junwu, who's been involved with our quality since 1994. He is mandated. That means he is forced by communist China to take our data through the China National Intelligence Law, Article number 7. ANSI is a founder of the IAF. And also, ANSI and ANAP are underwriters, which means they take all legal responsibility for a systematic and product failure within that system of products being produced because they are an underwriter. Okay, they're also an underwriter for IAF's sister organization, the International Laboratory Accreditation Cooperation out of Australia. You have Peter Buttigieg here, who most recently said we must, this is what he said. He said, Secretary of State Buttigieg, Boeing must demonstrate that it meets FAA's high safety and quality standards. How could you have high safety and quality standards when they released and delegated their authority, FAA authority, to Boeing? Do you understand that, Peter? On top of it, we have the Department of Justice who's investigating Boeing, and with Merrick Garland investigating Boeing. We also have Homeland Security, which when I stood up there at the Senate subcommittee meeting, as you can see, it's the Senate Homeland Security and Government Affairs Committee's investigation. So basically, Department of Homeland Security sits on the board that accredits Boeing's quality system, ANSI ANAP. Do you see anything wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen? And here he is, Alejandro Mayorkas. On top of it, we have the FBI. This is a funny one, and sad, because he always says, Christopher Wray always says, we must maintain vigilance over communist China because it's going to be the ruination of our country. Yet between 2015 and 21, his agency was being watched over by communist China, just like Homeland Security. And here's a real picture, okay? If he doesn't know this, shame on him. You're knowing it now, the public. You have the Department of Defense. And also, this is nice. You have Boeing sitting right over by all of these, plus the FAA who made them regulators. So when they tell you, as that judge did, Northern District, the attorney Aaron Neely Cox for the Northern District of Texas, he said that Boeing pulled the wool over their eyes, public's eyes. No, they didn't. They're a regulator, ladies and gentlemen. 203-556-1493 or Daryl, TQRS at yahoo.com. And I do that because we do care about you buzzing around, because I see those planes flying over my head. Think about that. I'll talk to you soon.